I think it's a combination of many different factors. One, and we increasingly see this, is that these aren't first-time offenders that are committing these crimes. So people who are already out on bail committing more serious crime is a growing epidemic across this entire province and certainly across the regions we represent. I think that without a strong deterrent, those people who have already demonstrated that they don't deserve to be in the public spaces living amongst us are out there reoffending and victimizing more and more people. And so, this is why conferences like this are so important, because the time is now. There is no time to waste. You talk about timelines in the previous question. The fact is that we are on the front lines of that happening, and our members are responding to these very calls right now as we speak, right across all of our regions. These calls are happening, and we are encountering people, and we form, lifelong relationships. 6 years for Paul and Flo. These are things that our members also take on, and so it's with a sense of urgency that we continue to address these issues. The second part of the question is, why are these things happening? Because there are no strong deterrents. The fact is that people often, with the court decisions on things like dead time and other factors that impact sentencing, people, many of them, even when convicted, are walking out of court. And so all of these things lead to a frustration for, law enforcement, police services across this province, and I think contribute to this emboldening of the criminal element. And I think that those are two of the major contributing factors. C-75, introduced in 2019, or claimed in 2019, fundamentally changed bail in this country. C-48, 2 years later, 3 years later, sought to start plugging the holes because almost immediately it didn't. You can see the problems with C-75. It has fundamentally created this unbalance that Chief McSween just spoke of. The reality is that where one of the driving principles behind C-75 was to impose the least onerous conditions possible. The problem with that, and that sounds great in concept, but the problem with that is that it needs to be balanced against the needs of the community and the safety of victims. And so we see recidivists being at the core of these very, very serious criminal offenses that are being committed. People who we had an opportunity to balance that scale and bring in the voice of the victims, the larger community, future victims, and that has not occurred. The federal government, in passing this law, created special community courts to deal with bail. None have been constituted in Canada. It just doesn't exist. And so these things are